Welcome to Game of Roses. I'm Chad Kultgen, and today the new social media teaser dropped for Jenn Tran's upcoming Bachelorette Season 21. I'm going to be playing it here, breaking it down, and also taking a look back at a few other Bachelorette social media promos that have come out in recent years past, just to see where we're at now with the evolution of this. I will just say I've watched this about 20 times already. The production value very high. We can see some stylistic choices are being made that are a little more in line with Love is Blind or a Too Hot to Handle in terms of graphics, in terms of kind of dynamic motion in the shots. I think The Bachelor is really starting to take cues from some of these other competitors out there, some of these other dating games. So let's take a look. Let's watch Jenn Tran's video and get into it. Here we go.
Make this look easy, but my body make them stutter. Fuck my engine, push the button, just I'm won't be coming first. You're the man, but I get the power. I get the power. I get the power. I get the power.
All right, first of all, this is the thing that strikes me the most about this. It's a game. They're saying The Bachelor's a game, and Jenn Tran is playing it. She's the one in control. She's the one putting the heart-shaped coin in the slot to start playing this crane machine game. Now, what they don't do in this trailer is say that it's also a game for the guys playing it, all the players playing the game. But it's beautifully done. This is one of the best promos I've ever seen from them on social media, and I think it really is indicative of The Bachelor kind of dragging itself into contemporary times. She looks great in it. The neon is great. The video game idea is great. It's well executed. Even her sitting on the little toy crane thing. I mean, this is just fantastic. There's no other way to put it. Now, let's go back, if we may, and compare this to just a few years ago. This was Charity Lawson's promo. Now, I think this one's also great, by the way. But it's also interesting to note that Charity Lawson and Jenn Tran are the first two Bachelorettes that are going to be wearing the crown without Mike Fleiss being involved in this show. He, of course, was the creator of The Bachelor. He got ousted right before Charity Lawson's season started production. So let's take a look at hers and see what we got. Her reign begins. I would say this is on par with Jenn Tran. It's a different tone. Obviously, it's more the fairy tale. It's, her reign begins. But that idea of the Bachelorette being in control carries over into Jenn Tran's promo as well. She's the one putting in the coin. It says, I believe it even says in Jenn Tran's, she's in control or she's making the decisions, something like that. These are very similar, in my opinion. Jenn Tran's feels a little more contemporary. Again, it feels a little more like if you watch Love is Blind, or specifically if you watch Too Hot to Handle, the promos of the incoming players, the rookies, when they come to introduce themselves, they're very contemporary. Fast editing, kind of glowing graphics, that type of a thing. And that is what Jenn Tran's has. This is a little more classic Bachelor, the Charity Lawson one. So you do see some evolution from Charity Lawson to Jenn Tran. Now, let's go back just one season prior to this. Now, this is all I could find, and I'm just going by their social media posts. I'm sure there was a promo shot for this, and it might have aired on TV or something, but I just went back through Bachelorette ABC Instagram account to look at what they posted for these various seasons. So this is the closest thing I could find to a promo that they did on social media for the disastrous Bachelorette Season 19, the dual Bachelorettes, Gabby Windey and Rachel Recchia. Now take a look at this and just see if you can tell the difference. Here we go. I mean, just terrible, utterly terrible. stock music. They haven't licensed any big songs like they did for Charity and Jen. They have this just kind of bad social media. Now, granted, this was at the tail end of the lockdown of the pandemic. Of course, we all remember they had to do their season pretty much confined to a cruise ship, and even somebody on that season, Logan, I forget his last name now, contracted COVID and had to be kicked off that season. So maybe they had some hindrances because of that in terms of what kind of production they could even do for this. But you can see a big difference in the quality just over the course of a few years. Now let's go back one more year, because it was, I think, a step in the right direction. This is the first social media promo that I remember for Bachelorette. This is, of course, Michelle Young, Bachelorette season 18. This is the first one that I remember kind of starting to go in that direction, starting to be like, okay, they're trying some stuff here. But as you can see, this isn't quite the level of a Charity Lawson. It's not the level of a Jenn Tran, but check it out.
Bring on the men.
It's, of course, shorter. This is a cut down from I think, a bigger thing that they probably aired on TV. And it doesn't feel like this was shot with social media in mind. All the text and stuff is just kind of layered in as an afterthought. Whereas you look at what they did with Charity, you look at what they did with Jenn Tran. I mean, with Jenn Tran, let's go back and look at this, because there's an important piece of it. Okay, first of all, look at this opening shot. This is shot for social media. They know they're going to be using this full vertical frame, and they've got her right in the center of it, walking out of this vanishing point that is kind of, pointing toward her. She's in the middle of the frame. Those quick cuts, they're jump cutting to the close-up of her smiling. We're getting the spin around. Even this, I'm sure there's a wider version of this. I'm sure they shot this wide frame, but they're aware of how they're going to edit it later for social media.
Fuck my body, make him stutter. Fuck my engine, push the button, cause I won't be coming first. For the man.
That title is great. I can't rewind on this.
But I get the power.
The power. So this is the common theme of this now, is the Bachelorette's in charge. She's got the power to choose these men or use the crane machine to pull them out to play her game. Now watch it. The power's in her hands, we see. And those graphics, I love those neon graphics. It's just a little more attention is paid. It makes it feel like the show cares about what's happening again. And look at that. Look at the final frame of this. Whether they shot this wide or not, they know they're going to be using that vertical frame again. And so they make sure that all of it fits in there. They've got the big crane machine. They've got her in the center. It's just a fantastic finishing frame. I mean, there's nothing bad to say about this promo. I absolutely love it, and I think they've knocked it out of the park here. I hope that this continues. Wow. Well, there you have it. That's Jenn Tran's promo. This is the first time we're getting to see her out marketing the season that is right around the corner. We got that the date there, July 8th on ABC. Can't wait to watch it. Thanks for joining me for this analysis of the last few years of these social media promos of our Bachelorettes.